Thank you so much. Echoes from Faraday came about from like my own, it's like a coping mechanism of my own mental health struggles as a footballer from Ghana. During my struggle, I there were difficulties in accessing mental health support, and through that, I started writing about my emotions, my feelings, how I felt as an athlete, things that were impacting me mentally, and all just to cope with the situation and also play alongside. As I started creating and putting it out there, other footballers resonated with it. Some tested me on social media. Hey, I'm really inspired by this piece. I'm really inspired by that. Then I got it that it could be an African thing. It could be something that is not just me alone. And through a series of interactions with footballers, my teammates, I realized that it is something that is for all of us. And I mean, it progressed from it just being my coping mechanism to an entire community where we currently have 200 African women footballers, and we provide them with free mental health support. So, you don't get paid for playing football here in Ghana, so it's very difficult to access the supports and the fans needed to seek therapy is not there, and also even the idea to seek therapy or support is not there in the first place. So it's like there is a need for lots of education about mental health and how it impacts us as athletes involved. So basically, Echoes from Faraday is here to inspire change, a change that prioritizes the mental health of African women footballers. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for the space that you are curating. And it's not just you and the entire team, and you and all of the women football teams that are committed to curating spaces that are much more safer. So we are people like us who just watch the game and and follow the defense. We are very excited that you're doing this and that you're doing it so holistically and intentionally. I'm very curious, Judith, what the process was like. I was going to ask Harley this, but I feel like you're going to give an answer.
I don't think there were any differences between editing the footages from Ghana and Rwanda, and that most of the experiences that these women were having were very human. You don't have to be a footballer to relate to it. So I think that there were those similarities in there. The only difference is that it was Ghana, Rwanda, but the experiences were the same. And it was very beautiful to be able to relate these two countries together. Hopefully there'll be more countries. I look forward to that. But I don't think there were differences. The only difference is the country. But all the women were having very human experiences that we could all relate to, and it was nice putting those stories together. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you. Which brings me to you, Dr. Patience. So Judith is explaining to us, well, not explaining, just saying pretty cleverly how last is the same thing, whether it is Rwanda or East Africa or Ghana or West Africa, we're all human beings in that moment or within the content and context. They are all women footballers and they are working within. I like how you explain, you describe it already as low resource settings, aka they are poor. For me, I think for anyway. So now you as someone working within the mental health industry, question one. The things that the women in the film, the last film, but also in the second film, those that had experienced the violence from an accident that they expressed. I feel like the question is the answer. Are they different? Like, are they extra different? Like, is it different beyond like that?
So I'd say that there can be differences in terms of the particular types of things that they will experience based on what they're exposed to. So first of all, because of the sport, it is a very high pressure sports environment, and because of that, they can be exposed to a lot of trauma just based on the requirements of the sport. So that alone exposes them to something that the regular 95er is not necessarily exposed to. Um, but in the other vein, we all can experience that in different ways. So, yes and no, there might be some differences in the type of things that you might experience, but fundamentally, we all experience these mental challenges.
So for Faraday, I guess what I would also ask is that, so now this is the third film in a series of four. I don't know if it was you or Judith, it was Judith that said it, that we're hoping that we can do it in more countries because the experience is like universal, even though it's different places. Yes, a little, the accent was different. That's something that was different. The accent was different. But so I guess what I'm wondering is what the process so far has been like. Also because it's not like an anthology you are doing in 3 months or in 1 month. It's been a while coming. I think the first one was 2024. Is that correct? Or even further than that. And whilst you've been compiling this anthology, you've also been working on the retreats alongside. So you're doing the content, but you're also sitting with the people that are affected by the content. And I'm very curious, how has that been like for you from 2024 to now?
For me, the process has been very slow, soft, at a very slow pace, more intentional, and more of building trust. Because when you would want to talk to a player, um, they are thinking about their technical thing, hearing about what they have to say. They are anxious about what they have to say. They are scared about what they will say. So it takes building this anthology has taken like much longer time, and for me, I am okay with it because I am a footballer and I can relate and I understand. So it hasn't been frustrating at all because we need to go along the pace of the footballers. So let me use Rwanda for instance. Um, Number one, aside the language barrier, because that's the first time I would have to interact with players from other African countries in close proximity when it comes to filmmaking. When you provide players or when you provide them with certain resources to use to calm their anxiety, when they understand the need for the stories to be told, they become very calm and friendly and got to a point where it felt like, now I would want to talk about this. This too happened. I would want to say this. You don't want trying to say, yeah. So for me, the process has been very slow because we needed to build trust with the players and we needed everything raw and as honest as you can because this is data for the next generation. This is data for the people in office, the people to do the right thing, the people who are responsible to set the reforms to change the narrative. So this is data, like, and it has to be as honest as it can. And for me, whether it is 10 years, 20 years, you go with the pace to build the trust, and that gets all the honest. I'll have all the honest conversations as you can. Well, thank you.
Thank you. You said so many cool and interesting things. One of the, like a few takeaways from this, like about how this is documentation and how that is very, very important. So Judith, now I'm wondering if there were, because you also spoke about how oftentimes the players are hesitant to share because they are worried about what the management will say, what the coaches will say, all of that. So I'm now very curious about if there were certain things that you felt you had to take out because it was too inflammatory or too incendiary or I don't know. So that's a question to you, Judith. But before you answer that, you also mentioned bits about, well, you said it's been a very slow process and that you don't regret that because it helped you build trust. And what I'm hearing from that is that in order to effectively create in order to effectively create mental safety, like a conversation, we need honesty and trust, right? And so then also, Dr. Patience, hold on to that.
Hi. So maybe this will come across as a bit biased, but first of all, as a video editor, it's very easy to get emotionally attached to the shots and the story being told. So I would first of all say that I have no regrets about what I left out, because eventually what you ended up seeing really contributed to the core story being told. Now, this is why I don't regret this. I feel like so far as three mini documentaries that have been done right now, I feel like they serve as a proof of concept of what we can do as echoes from Faraday if the support was more, if the stakeholders really paid more attention, if the donors donated more. Imagine this is what we are doing with 5 minutes, with three short films. Imagine what we can do in with 15 minutes, with 30 minutes, we can hour feature length documentary. I personally don't regret leaving anything out. I feel like whatever you've seen really like the I think watching behind the scenes, the questions were very intimate, straight to the point, and each player poured out their soul into answering those questions. Some were hesitant, but I feel like the answers they gave was enough for me to make the cast that I did. There wasn't a lot to leave out. If I left out anything, it's obviously the arms and the bars and mistakes, whatever. But I feel like everything was captured in all the films. So yeah.
I'm happy to hear because uh I mean it's 5 minutes. So like now I'm anxious. Like I want to know, okay, did you leave anything out? Because like I feel like for me personally, there is a shot I have deleted before transferring the entire file to you. And for me, now when I look back at Healing in Half Time, the accident one, the second on the anthology, I feel bad because I feel like that particular story would have given power and a lot of voice to the player and countless athletes around. And I don't know how to lay it back, but at the time I thought I was protecting the player, even though the player had the same like by Thibaut, but because she was a bit hesitant, later calls to say no, do not add it, and later I'm called to say add it. Then I'm like, oh, hold up. Maybe when it comes out, she wouldn't be okay. So we could keep this for another time. And because Judith is not a footballer, but like a storyteller editor, I decided to let that cut completely so that I don't have to even have to decide on it. So now when I look back, I wish I had given it out because it would have given a higher voice to the player. Yeah. Thank you. Ah, is that? But it is interesting. Just because I'm someone that works in like narration and documentation, I do find the answer on both sides just generally very interesting. But we don't have time to later come and chase you then I'll pick your brains about that. But then about the first cue, which was that as Faraday was explaining, they mentioned about it being a slow process and that being important for building trust and solidarity. So now my question to you, Dr. Patience, is that what certain low cost tools can we as people who may have friends in football, some of us are we are a team and I you need some of the team some so how can we support our friends and ourselves in these ways without, because even like the random team they had mentioned, they wish there was like an actual counselor, there wasn't one.
I think this is a very good practical question to ask. So, in the light of building trust and honesty, I would suggest something called a mental check-in. So, this is not a one-time thing. it is a continuous process, like a conversation with a friend. This is like having a series of conversations with your teammates. I'm talking to you guys because you are the target group here. So having a series of conversations with your teammates, the main things you're looking for is one, you're asking open-ended questions. They are questions that don't require yes or no answers. So how are you feeling? What did this do to you? That's an example of an open-ended question. So that's one. You want to constantly check in on each other and make sure that you're getting full-length answers from your friends. And the other thing you're looking for when you're doing the check-ins is, you can call it like a traffic light model, but red, yellow, green. So green is generally the person is doing good in all aspects. Yellow, you have to pick up on cues. So someone tells you, oh, I'm not sleeping well because practice is stressing me or something, or oh, I find I'm not eating well, something, there's a slight change. Maybe the mood is off whenever they come to the pitch. So you notice that there is a change. That's like a yellow flag. And then the red flag is they're thoroughly not doing well. They can't handle things well. They are just breaking down. And what you do with this information is that you can either support in a way that you have the capability to, and that is, for instance, if you notice that your friend has a lot of anxiety, maybe they tell you, oh, nowadays my heart is beating all the time when we come on the pitch. You can help them through one. So this is another tool, a breathing exercise. They are very simple. Everybody can do it. We'll do it right now. You said you can't breathe in deeply. We'll do that right now. So, Michaela's going to be our prop. No, you can sit. Okay. So, no, sit up. You're going to put one hand on your chest and the other one on your belly. And then I'm going to give the instructions and then you do them after. No. So you're going to take a deep breath. While you're taking a deep breath, instructions and then you follow. While you're taking a deep breath, you're counting 1 through to 4, slowly, not too fast. And then you hold your breath, count 1 through to 4, and then breathe out, counting 1 through to 4 through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose and then breathing out through your mouth. So let's try it. Yes. No. No. Yes.
So in
1 to 4. Hold 1 to 4. And then out through your mouth. Fantastic. Okay. So once you notice that anxiety or something that requires or they could benefit from taking it slowly, you can guide them through this or remind them that they can do this. The other thing is called muscle relaxation. So it's similar. You sort of tense up different groups of your muscles from your toe upwards and then still breathe and then up till you're up at your head. So you tense up your toes and then just taking a deep breath, counting 1 to 4. Inhale. While you're exhaling, then you release the toes. Yes. So then you're feeling the tension and then you're releasing it gently. Then you can tense up your calf muscles next. So calf, tense them up. Breathe in. 1 through to 4. Hold and then out. 1 through to 4. Release. So that's just it. Muscle relaxation, deep breaths. So we've taken you through the mental check-ins. That's one. We've done the deep breathing. We've done muscle relaxation. What else can you do? Social support, the community. We talk about that a lot in the prior session. You need to build a community outside of football. I don't mean with other people, but I know football is supposed to be recreational, but for you now, it's not recreational. It is your profession or something of the sorts. for some of you. So once it's become work, you need to have a hobby. You need to find an outlet, something to help you de-stress. If it's music, if it's going out to hang out with friends, something to help you release the stress. So these are some things I'd say anyone can do. We can have workshops to guide the coaches to help train the footballers or put someone in charge, like someone as a welfare person, to be able to do these practices every time. And I think these go a long way because then one, you're able to identify stressful situations or mental red flags before they become florid.
Thank you so much. Those were very good. I feel like I should ask if everybody read this. I know one, which is I that's what you want to be actually the muscle relaxation one.
So my emotions through working on these projects, first of all, has been exciting because you have to squeeze like hours and hours of footage into 5 minutes. That's an adventure in it. So that's my sport. That's my football. But to bring it down, I have two stories. Me, I'm not a sports person. I think I've been involved in sports because in school I was told. So they put me in basketball and football. And in basketball, one time I missed a shot and somebody made some scathing remark at me, and I was like, nope, this environment is not for me. I am going to eject myself from this environment. No headmaster, no housemaster, no team leader will talk me back into it. And I think looking back, that was me protecting my mental health. Bringing it down to healing in halftime, the accident one. Prior to editing that video, I had been in an accident, I think 3 months before that. So editing it, it was just, it felt like, okay, so these are women who had to go through this. For me, after the accident, I had so much anxiety. I couldn't go out by myself for a very long time. I recovered, but I still have scars, mental scars from that experience. And to watch that these women, these footballers have to recover physically and then go back to the field, it made me wonder how editing, like, are they even recovered mentally? No. So I all this is to say that I don't have to be a footballer to be able to relate to these stories. I just have to be human. And the main emotion I felt throughout, I've said before, was empathy. And it took a lot to get through some of these edits, but I made it through. And I don't have to be a footballer to contribute. I can be a voice on the sideline. And this is my contribution through editing, through storytelling on the timeline. So I'm really proud of the work we've seen today. And I look forward to the projects moving forward. So yeah, thank you.
I am looking at the project growing in the sense that like the education, mental health education, like penetrates deep into women football, where the mental health of the athletes is managed to the point where it does not get into a crisis or become a crisis. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to more education on mental health so that the athletes will know how mental health applies to them as athletes. Yeah, thank you. So before I ask you a question, I'm going to ask us, do we have any questions? Especially, oh wow. I know that's you. Okay, do you want to ask me a question? I don't want to know. But I didn't want to have any questions. Either about the films or you want to ask Dr. Patience here any questions?
I have a question.
You have a question, okay.
To Faraday, when we're doing our exercise, our mental safety, I wanted to ask what's mental safety look like?
Did you get the question? Okay, so I will answer this question from the points as a footballer. So, as a footballer, for me, mental safety simply could mean me losing a ball on the pitch, and Coach Veronica doesn't bench me because of that. To me, that is mental safety. Or saying that I am anxious about a big game, like there is a big game, like a very tough match like Tishi Constance versus GRA Ladies. The game that is going to qualify either GRA Ladies or Tishi Constance, the middle league, then Faraday says that I am anxious, and Coach Veronica doesn't see that as weakness and say, if big games, then you are saying that you are anxious, just go and sit down. No, that to me is not mental safety. Mental safety is for Veronica seeing that as a mere data. Like, hey, I'm giving her the data of how I am feeling, and like something that I will require from her will be like, hey, can you take a deep breath in and out? Don't worry, you've got this. You can do it. You are human first. The game is not a do or die affair. But you win, hallelujah. If you lose, you go back to the drawing board and it's better. So for me, that is what mental safety simply means to me as a footballer. Oftentimes, we want to help our friends, but we don't always know like what to do, right? So giving us some really good tips on what we can do. But what is a line that you think that when it gets to this point, you have to like it's like move it to somebody else so that we don't cause more harm than good?
I wanted to add this to the things that you could do. So the other thing that's big among the sports is, for instance, the guy who lost a penalty or the guys who lost, they would like, it does a lot of damage to themselves, self-esteem. And what you can do for them at that time is called cognitive restructuring or framing. So the person is offloading to you, telling you how bad they're feeling of themselves, how they think they're a terrible footballer. You, in that instance, try to remind them of the things they've done in the past, of it not defining them, like how she said. So that's something you can help with as well. So these are the signs in the red zone in the traffic light that I'm going to mention, where it is beyond deep breathing and cognitive restructuring. So when you notice that there is a decline in the person's function, so one, the person is not performing as well as they used to consistently. These are persistent. So you've been trying to help the friend or the colleague, and consistently for maybe like 2 months going, and these things are still recurring. It's beginning to affect their work. It's beginning to affect their relationships. It's beginning to affect their personal care. They're not taking care of themselves well. You know, it's going beyond your help. The other thing is the symptoms are not going away. Basically, the persistence of it. You have to recognize that it is getting worse. And then they can have different complaints, or they begin to socially isolate. That's another sign. Yeah, so these are some of the signs that you'd see, and you notice that it's going beyond you, and you need to seek help.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Judith, Faraday, and Dr. Patience. We are so grateful for the work that you do every day and for sharing your time with us. Okay, so thank you very much, first of all, to them, but also thank you to all of you, everybody, for sitting here with us through to the end, for braving the rain, for engaging with us in the conversations we did over there. Thank you. We are very, very grateful, and see you all soon. Yeah. Hopefully at the mental health retreat. Thank you all very much. We are grateful. We'll be hoping to see you at in July at the mental game retreat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. Bye.